onto a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice at woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, moments reflected. Often mirrors appear, clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you can see.
Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. I'm your host, Matt Clark, and today it is Wednesday. What's up, Burgess? How you doing, big dog? Today is Wednesday, the 21st, the day after the Thunder took care of business last night in Game 1. And remember, as we talked about on the show last night, let me see. My guy Calvin Thompson been talking trash to me. Pony just sent one for today. He's been talking trash to me about coming on. Just sent for now. He's been talking trash to me about Overland Park, Kansas versus Overland Park, Missouri. I don't really care. I'm in Oklahoma City, but I went ahead and fixed it, so he'll quit sending me pictures and sending me locations and all that stuff. So I went ahead and fixed all that. But I'm going to start a rant. And I'm so over this one particular dude who's on the Colin Cowherd show talking about SGA being a free throw merchant. I'm upset with Doris Burke last night talking about SGA being a free throw merchant. If you don't know the game and you didn't play, shut the F up. He's not a free throw merchant. Guys who play in the league don't say that. It's the idiotic media trying to get licks, trying to get likes, trying to get hits, trying to be relevant. He's not a free throw merchant. What he is excellent at drawing fouls. He's excellent at what he did. Now, last night, was there a little bump or there was a call that could have been hit? Yeah, of course. That's going to happen. But to compare him to James Harden is ridiculous. They're not the same. And for this one particular person I'm talking about, dude, you are a Luka fan. You are a LeBron fan. Those are two biggest crybaby, fake, fallout, whatever guys in the league. And then you're going to talk about SGA. He wears me out. I'm like, little dudes like that need to shut the hell up. You call yourself a basketball player. You call yourself, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and you talk about your little league or whatever the hell it is that you play in. And then you're going to call him a free throw merchant. That tells me you know nothing about the game. That tells me you're garbage. That's what that says to me. Because if you're a player, no player who plays, who knows how to play, calls him that. He's excellent at doing what? Creating contact, drawing fouls. And everybody talks about James Harden. When you look at James Harden, what he did in the season compared to what he did in the postseason, they weren't the same calls. SGA is making basically getting the same amount of free throws. Why? Because what he does is a foul. What he creates is a foul. He's excellent at drawing contact. And I want to know what foul. The only foul that wasn't a foul is when they called one and they gave us the ball back because they thought he got tripped and he didn't. He went to do the inside out and lost his balance because he was going full speed. He lost his balance because he was leaning too far forward. And they pulled that back. So I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And there was maybe one little bump in there that was a foul. And I'm sorry, McDaniel, if you go back and you watch, he gets in foul trouble every time he plays SGA. Why? Because SGA draws contact with him. And let me explain it to you guys who are in the back. This is how it works. What you do is you feel out what people do. SGA was aggressive, and I said this last night. I don't care what sport it is. In football, the aggressive team gets the calls. In basketball player, the aggressive team gets the calls, whether that's defensively or that's offensively. You're going to get the calls because officials are like, okay, these guys want to play. These guys are there. It happens in every sport. Hockey, same thing. Soccer, same thing. If you are aggressive in a physical sport, you're going to get the calls. And for Doris last night, I'm sorry. It's that one deal, and I'm sorry. I had respect for her. I still do, but to some point, it's lessened. When Mike Conley got hit in the face, or excuse me, when I forget who it was now, got hit in the face last night by Mike Conley, and she goes, "Oh, look at he got hit in the face," and then Richard Jefferson had to say yes by his own player. Now, why wouldn't you say, if you're going to bring that up, that he got hit in the face, why wouldn't you bring up the fact that it was his own player? What was that about? What were you trying to accomplish there, Doris Burke? I lost major respect for her because to me it's like, you lost me right there on that one. You lost me. You lost me on that one, Doris. That was ridiculous. That was petty. That was uncalled for. That's not right for you to talk trash about our team the way you just did. You put us out there, and that was bull. That was bull right there. That was not a foul on us, and the way you left it out there, like we committed the foul, and it was on DiVincenzo. That's what it was. It was on DiVincenzo. Thank you for that, Bird. It was DiVincenzo. How was that a foul on Oklahoma City? It wasn't even close, and you could see it in the first play when it happened. It didn't have nothing to do with what are you bringing up? Why would you even bring that up without saying DiVincenzo got hit in the face by Mike Conley, and we saw it in the play. We didn't even have a player over there. The player went to the right. I want to say it was SGA went to the right to go off a screen. What's that got to do with the Thunder? Her calling SGA a foul merchant. What are you getting out of that? You're supposed to be, you're in the NBA. You're in the Western Conference Finals on ESPN. You're supposed to be credible. You're supposed to be professional. And this is what you come up with? This is what you lead out? And thank God for Richard Bethlehem because he had to put Breen in his plot too last night. The hell are y'all doing? Is this the trash that you're going to put out? This is who you're supposed to be professional, supposed to know the game, and you're coming up with nonsense? This is what you're doing? This is what you're coming up with? Really? Foul merchant. We hurt somebody. How about let's talk about the damn game? Let's talk about they shot 51 threes. How about we shut them out and took them completely out of their game? How about Dagnall putting the small lineup and let it work once again? With K-Rich, who didn't even smell the floor against Denver. Let's talk about that. Why don't you talk about the brilliant move that the coach did in that? Why don't you talk about how our defense and what we do, how the physicality of how we are, and what do? We turn you over and we score buckets. How about let's go back to game 4 when we were beating them by 25 and they came back going into that zone and boxing one in SJ. This is 2 games in a row we kicked their butt. Let's talk about that for a minute. Now, they did win. First game they beat us, we beat them twice. Should have beat them 3 in a row. This should be the 4th time in a row. Is it possible that we might have their number? Is it possible that Ant-Man going from Dort to Kaysen to Caruso to Wiggins to J-Dub to SGA? Can we talk about that a little bit? Can we talk about the fearlessness of our defense turning the ball over? What do long shots equal? Long rebounds. What do long rebounds equal? Transitional points. What does that equal? Flow of the game. That's what happens. What do steals do? Steals create transitional baskets. What do transitional baskets equal to? Flow of the game for you offensively. That's what that means. How about SGA going 2 for 13? Trash boy talking about, he was 10 for 27. He started 2 for 13. What did he end up? 8 for 14 to close the game out. Let's talk about the second half. Not how he started, but how he finished. Let's talk about the boy who all he talks about is LeBron. All he talks about is Luka. Let's talk about him for a minute. Brock Purdy. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, bro. If Brock Purdy was so great, why didn't any NFL team want to trade for him? Because he only works for Mike Shanahan. That's why. So let's put things in context. Don't just sit out there and go out there and talk about a bunch of nonsense, which is what you're doing. And I don't like the fact that you're calling SGA a free throw merchant. No player does that. Only media. No player out there, you don't hear Tim Legler talking about him being a free throw merchant. He talks about he's excellent at getting in the spots. And what does he do? He's excellent at creating contact. That's called basketball. That's called about getting to the free throw line. That's what I knew how to do. I knew how to create contact, get to the line, but at least I'm going to finish. I'm looking at finishing first, going to free throw shooting second. I'm looking at finishing. If you call it, great. I get and one. If you don't, I'm still going to score. And that's what SGA does. He's crafty and he's very good at what he does. But for you to consider this nonsense about being a free throw merchant, and it's nonsense. Burgess, Doris definitely was throwing blatant slander towards Oklahoma City. Yes, she sure was last night. It was pathetic. It was horrible. Jay Billis did the same thing. ESPN, if you're the worldwide leader in sports, give me some worldwide leader and who knows what the hell they're talking about. You're not going to see that mess on TNT. If you're going to be the best, put the best out there in front of you as your product. But you got to have producers who know what the hell they're doing first so they can put her in her damn place and put Breen in his place. Thank you, Richard Jefferson, for setting him straight. That's why I tell people all day long, as players, now players have podcasts and stuff like that and they can communicate. Why? Because for the longest time, people only heard from people in the media who didn't play. My view of what's happening in the game, your view as not a player are not the same. My view as a person who made it all the way to the top, getting paid as a professional athlete, and yours who didn't are not the same. Mine is not the same as a doctor. Mine is not the same as an attorney. Mine is not the same as a veterinarian or whatever your business person, whatever your niche is, banker, whatever. Hedge fund guy. That's not my niche. My niche is this. Pretty much know what the hell I'm talking about. Now you can disagree with me all you want to, but it sucks to me. Burgess, we're stuck on ESPN for the remainder of this round. Yes, we are. And I think for the championship series is on ESPN too. I believe it's on ESPN as well. But I'm sorry, I'm done with Doris Burke. You are better than that. You are better than that, Doris. Now, is it the point now you're getting old and you're getting in your feelings? Is that what it is? Are you mad? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I mean, what's the matter? You mad because we beat Denver? And I'm going to say this. All last night was one game. You think Minnesota's going to come out and shoot 50 times again from three? You think Minnesota's going to play like that again? You're crazy. They're not going to do that. ABC and ESPN for the championship. Oh, thank you, Burgess. Yeah, it is because that's they own, or ESPN owns ABC, or is it ABC owns ESPN, whichever one it is. I think ESPN owns ABC, or however it breaks out. But I don't want to see Jay Billis. He has no business calling an NBA game. He knows nothing about NBA. He's a college guy. Keep him in the SEC or ACC for Duke basketball, in North Carolina basketball. Keep him over there. You don't know anything about NFL, NBA. He's terrible. He has no clue what he's talking about. He's terrible. And I'm going to say this for all you people who get mad at me, and Burgess can testify to this. If you listen to what I'm saying and quit trying to say that I'm a hater, pay attention to what the hell I'm saying, and then go view what the hell I'm saying and see if what I'm saying matches what's happening in the game. I promise you I won't hear from you in my chat. I promise you won't be sitting back coming back and disagreeing with me saying you don't know what you're a hater. I promise you that's not going to happen. And Burgess can tell you, I beat up Mark Daigneault. I praise Mark Daigneault. And he can tell you when Daigneault does something good, I give him praise 100%. Denver game with doing Caruso, changing Caruso, not playing iHeart, third quarter, putting him on Jokic. Gave him praise for that. Last night, going small lineup with K Rich. I was like, what the hell is he doing? Why is K Rich playing? Ooh, small lineup, boom, it worked. So I give him praise. But then I also am going to criticize when he does something stupid like game 1 against Denver. I'm going to do that. Last night, how about him congratulating and talking about SGA? First time I've heard him all year give SGA praise. Wow, you're getting smart, coach. We're going to win based on how SGA plays, period. I saw where Colin Cowherd, he was talking today, talking about, the GMs are what wins games. GMs put players together. You got to give Jerry Krause credit for the Bulls and what he put together. Was he the soul of the Bulls? No, that was Jordan. Brad Stevens, you can brag about him all you want to with the Celtics, but he put together the team. But without those players, he ain't winning. Your GM ain't on the floor. Sam Presti, the first thing he did that was fantastic was what? He traded for SGA. And this team was built from that point on. You got SGA and Dort at the same time. Then you got Josh Giddey. Then you got J-Dub and Chet, which you didn't get Chet yet. And then you got K-Rich. And you got Wiggins. And then you got J-Dub. Then you got Chet. Then you got Kaysen. Then you got Ihart. And then you traded for Caruso for Josh. Doing Josh a favor, getting him out of Oklahoma City. At the same time, doing Oklahoma City a favor by bringing Caruso. And Caruso's happy now because he's back in the championship team for the foreseeable future. So you give Sam Presti credit for doing what? Putting together this team. But it started with SGA. And if they realize that it goes with him, so what? He shot 10 for 27. He started out 2 for 13. And he missed how many layups? 3, 4? So I'm all done with all that. J Will too. Yes, with J Will, J Dub, and Chet all came the same together. Thank you, Burgess. I'm not one throw shade J Will. I like J Will. But anyway, yes, your general manager puts together teams. Now Sam Presti learned from what happened the first time around with KD, Harden, and Westbrook and Ibaka. He drafted nothing to support them. And this time around, he's completely learned how to put together a team. But without SGA, we don't win. I don't care if you got J-Dub and J. Will and Einhart and Caruso. We're not winning. We're not going to be number 1 2 years in a row. You're supposed to win 23 games. You win 40. Then the next year you win 57. So I don't want to hear about all that nonsense. Players win championships. Management puts the players together to get that accomplished, along with coaching and putting those players in the correct positions to make them successful in order for you to get a W. That's how it works. Jerry Krause from the Bulls, perfect example. First thing they do, well, he wasn't the guy that drafted Michael Jordan, but he took over. You got Jordan, then what do you get? Then you struggle, and you got Pippen. Then you add it from there. That's what happened. Sam Presti, you didn't really draft KD. You were forced to get KD because of the simple fact that Oden was the first guy. So if we had the first pick, we probably would have took Oden. I guess, Greg Oden. I guess that's probably what would have happened. But we got KD. Then you got Westbrook, you got Harden, you got Ibaka. Okay? That's what happened. Then after that, you didn't do anything. This time around, it started with SGA. Remember, we're in the bubble with Chris Paul, Gallinari, Schroeder. We had Steven Adams. We had a nice squad. We had a real nice squad. And I still believe to this day we should have beat Houston, but we didn't. Then what happens? You draft Josh Giddey. You get rid of all those guys, and what happens? You just go to another level. You go to another level with Josh. And you had Dort, and you had Wiggins, and then you got K-Rich. And then the next year, what do? You add J-Dub, you add J-Will, you add Chet. And then the next year, you add another important piece in Kaysen. And then you do the final touch, because 3 years ago we were griping. Outside presence, perimeter defense, outside shooting, perimeter defense, and inside presence. And he fixed those the first 2 years, and then last year he added iHeart to fix the last one. And then added a cherry on top of the perimeter defense and outside shooting with Caruso. So Sam Presti did a fantastic job of putting it together. Now Dagnall is starting to figure it out. What did I say? J-Dub played 5 minutes less than SGA last night. What did I say? He needs to be playing 5 to 6 or 7 minutes less than SGA if we're going to win. It ain't rocket science. Stop all that trying to build J-Dub up. Build J-Dub up next year. Let's go win the chip. And if Dagnall will stay with that recipe, bring SGA in the second quarter, take J-Dub out for 3 to 4 minutes. Bring SGA in the fourth quarter, take J-Dub out for 3 to 4 minutes. We will win. Take him out with the 4 or 5 minute mark of the first and third quarter, take J-Dub out. We will win. We will win. It ain't hard. He don't have to get caught up in his feelings. Let's get caught up in putting a ring right here. Let's get caught up in us having a party down here at Sizzletail. Let's get caught up in that. Let's get caught up in that. Man, Burgess, I'm sorry I went on a little rant there. I'm a little heated about that last night. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of this nonsense, bro. I really am tired of them free throw merchant and all that. Why don't you? How about them talk about how good we are? What all we're number one in? In fact, I'm gonna pull that up right now, Burgess, because I'm so pissed off. How about let's pull this up? How about let's talk about the Thunder a little bit? How about let's give us some credit, okay? How about let's give up some credit? How about us being number one in field goal percentage? How about us being number 3 in the points given up? How about us being number 1 in three-point percentage? How about us being number 4 in allowing the opponents to be on their assists? How about number 1 in pips, points in the paint? How about number 1 in steals, both taking the ball away and not giving the ball up in steals? How about number 2 in blocks? How about number 1 in us turning the ball over, which means we don't. We're number 1 in that. How about us being number 1 in taking the opponent's balls away? How about last night having 13 steals? How about being first in the third quarter and second quarter as far as offense scoring? How about being second in the fourth quarter as far as giving up points in the fourth quarter? 25.5. Being second. How about that? How about Doris Burke? You talk about that. How about little short dude on ESPN on Colin Cowherd's show? How about you talk about that? How about you talk about what we're good at and how all you people talked about how young we were and how I fought against that and how I talked about that, how we're not young and that I'm tired of that. How about that? Let's talk about that. I said all this a long time ago. I'm done with all that young stuff. We've been doing this for 5 years. The problem is we've been on Bali TV and ain't nobody seen it. But I've been there. I've been sitting there watching it. I've been watching us grow. And it all starts on the defensive end. It's been like that forever. Defense gets us there, SGA shuts the door. That's been the thing for 5 years, the 5 years SGA been here. Or in 4 years, I'll say the 4 years because Chris Paul was here early. That's what the recipe has been. Defense, SGA closes the door. Defense, SGA closes the door. That's been the recipe for the Thunder's continued growth. Now, you have a 5-year window in order to get something done. We're in year 2. Last year was year 1. Now, we were still young last year, but why? Because the guys hadn't played before. J-Dub had never been there. Chet, none of them had been there. But now this is year 2. We've got experience. SGA is still doing his deal. J-Dub is still figuring out. And last night, we got a Chet signing. How about that, Burgess? We got a Chet signing last night. And I've said this before. We haven't played to our best. We've played one game where we were rolling, and that's with Denver, game 2, and we just beat the brakes off of them. But we've won 2 games by 25 points back-to-back. Game 7, game 1, we beat both those teams by 25. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about some of the good things that the Thunder have done. Let's talk about that instead of talking about free throws. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we've done as far as shutting opposing teams off. Let's talk about this. I saw this. The best point differential in a 7-game span at home in postseason history. The 2025 Thunder plus 176. Have we won the title yet? We don't know. 2016 Cavaliers plus 171. They won the title. 2014 Spurs plus 166. They won the title. We're 176. And I'm going to say this all day long. Rogelio, what's up? They announced the MVP tonight at 6 o'clock. It's at 6. That's 7 p.m. Eastern time, but 6 o'clock our time. SGA should get the award. The question is, are the Thunder going to give us a chance tomorrow night to for him to give that award in front of the crowd? Is he going to receive that in front of the crowd, or are they going to do what they always do and put it in a press conference or give it to him tonight at the whatever, which is a joke. You do it and you give the crowd, even though he'll know it, you give him his award tomorrow in front of everybody. And then you send the crowd into a frenzy. And you send the Thunder into a frenzy. And then you get all your players around him going, he's the MVP now, let's go prove it. And then him being aggressive. That's the way you do it. And when you look at our team, I'm tired of the nonsense. We're in year 2 of a 5-year window. Remember, everybody signed. The end of this year, in the summertime, you sign J-Dub, you sign Chet a year early so you can save money because it's going to be down the road. But they want to get their money because they haven't got paid yet. Let me see. Doris just gave internet trolls a national shout on live TV. Shame talking about SGA. That's disrespectful. Yes, Rogelio, I agree. That was ridiculous. And then, like we talked about earlier, for that foul on DiVincenzo, that was on them. And the way she left it out there, it's like, what did we have to do with that? That wasn't us. That was Mike Conley hit him in the fight, hit him in the nose and made him bleed. That wasn't us. And I Doris Burke, she got to make up something for me tomorrow night because I lost major respect for her. I was really, really had high expectations for her and what she is. But as I said, Rogelio, no basketball player in the NBA calls SGA a troll. A free throw merchant. Nobody says that but the media. No basketball players say that. What do we all say? Man, he's good at drawing fouls. He's good at what he does. He creates the contact, and all you got to do is hit him, and when their hands go down, that's a foul. And he still don't get every call. The commander and I don't know how many games we've been to, and SGA couldn't get calls. But my thing with SGA is you go to the basket looking to make the shot. Like he had one shot that he threw up last night thinking he was going to get a call. Or two. I think he missed a layup and a jump shot. Bro, stop all that nonsense. You're not going to get the call. Just go to make the bucket. If they call it, great. If not, you can still get N1. Don't worry about it. But go try to make the basket. Don't look for a foul because he was getting calls early. And then he was expecting he's going to continue to get calls. It didn't happen. Then the second half, what did he do? Changed his mentality. He adjusts. That's what great players do. They adjust to what's going on with them. And how about the fact that Doris, how about ESPN, how about you doing something the fact that, how about this? There's only been 2 players to average 30 and shoot 50% 3 years in a row. 2 players to average 30 and shoot 50% 3 years in a row. Michael and SGA. How about bragging that up on? How about bringing that up on the show, up on national TV? How about bringing that up? Think about that for a minute. I thought you were a professional. I thought you were supposed to research. And what's going on? You're with ESPN. They've got all this research material. How do you not bring that up? How about not talking about how great we are on defense? And I just went over that. There's all kinds of numbers you can throw out to brag about the Thunder, how young we are, and what we're accomplishing. And what do you want to bring up? Free throw merchant. That's what you talk about. And then let me bring this back up for a second so I can throw a wrench into that too, okay? Look at this. This year, free throw attempted, we were 26 out of 30 teams in shooting free throws. 26 out of 30 teams. We only put teams on the line during the season, 23.5. We were 25th in putting teams on the line, which means what? We fouled a lot because of our physicality. Free throw attempts, we're 22nd. We're 23.8. We're 27th in putting people on the line in the playoffs. Why? Because we're physical. because we're physical. And you're going to come up with free throw merchants. And we put teams on the line. There's only three teams in the league that put the people on free throw line more than we do. And you call us free throw merchants. Fouls per game. We were 24th during the season. We're 25th now. Up a little bit. Getting fouls. We were 24th during the season, which means we didn't get calls. We're 19th now in the playoffs. Means we're not getting calls. So I don't want to hear about the nonsense. It's pathetic that they do that. Let me see. My thoughts on the MVP award. If he doesn't get the award, use that as fuel to be aggressive and close the series out in 6 or a sweep. I agree. I think he's going to get it, though. I think he's going to get it. I don't. I think it's going to be close. To me, there's no way that he doesn't win. I mean, Jokic had a great season, but we were 18 games ahead of them. We beat them 3 out of 4 times. He smoked them 3 times. And the one time was actually the one time that they beat us, Jokic was fantastic. But we smoked them 3 out of 4 times, head to head. So if you're going to match them head to head, don't go by what they did in the stats against everybody else. What did they do against each other? Media, if you're going to, all you guys out there in media who you non-basketball playing fools, how about that? What did they do head to head? Since they're both MVP, don't put all the numbers. And Tim Legler, that's why I don't even listen to him anymore. Well, I think SGA is going to win, but I voted for Jokic. Well, how is that? How do you put Jokic over SGA? Let's go head to head. What did they do head to head? Team to team, what did they do? That should be your determining factor, not what he did against Portland, what Jokic did against Portland or against the Charlotte Hornets. What did he do against Oklahoma City? Those 4 times they played. What did SGA do against him the 4 times they played? Head to head, what happened? That's how you vote on the MVP. But that's not what y'all did. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But he better win it or it's going to be an outcry. And I'm going to tell you this. 90% of the players and former players all agree Jokic is the best player. But SGA was the MVP this year. He led the league in 50, 40, 30, 20-point games. Tied Kevin Durant for the most 20-point games in a row at 72. And no matter how dominant a year Jokic had, he wasn't even close to that. 72 games in a row. He had one game this year that he did not score 20 points, at least 20 points. One game. So I don't know about consistency, but that's consistency. And you get beat 3 out of 4 times against your MVP candidate, a guy that you're going against, beat you 3 out of 4 times. And his team beat you by 18 games. And you're the MVP? How? Oh, that's right. A bunch of non-players are voting. Forgot about that. Take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, SRB. If you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit our guys up. They'd love to take care of you over there, especially if you have a water treatment plant in your series or in your city or your county. I'm sorry, series. I'm still fired up today. Or Grove Trucking. If you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, hit my guy Jose up. He'll take care of you. Also, if you're remodeling a house and you need a bunch of trash hauled off, hit my guy up. They can take care of you and make sure that everything is taken care of. YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, a member of the FDIC, proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com, or you can go to one of their 5 locations, the main bank at 401 M, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma, which, by the way, we will be there a week from tomorrow. So, Commander, I better see you. And he always shows up late. He always shows up late. He did last week. And by the way, it was a Friday, so we appreciate you working afternoon on a Friday afternoon, Randall. We appreciate that. I love anyone throw those digs in on him like that. I can get away with stuff because he's not here. YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 or 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks. And I-40, just south of I-40, right in front of the hospital. Cannot miss it. And then YNB Peoples, located on 23rd in Bethany between Rockwell and MacArthur. And then the House of Creed, handcrafted since 1760. We will be there tomorrow, by the way, guys, at the House of Creed tomorrow at Penn Square Mall, Dillard's there. And I don't know if we're going to be in the men's department or the women's. I think we're going to probably be in the men's setup over there. So, hey, come by, come say hi, get you some free cologne. Especially remember, just tell them that Matt Clark sent you, and they will give you some free samples. So come by and check them out. And as we always say, remember, pick the best for your best. And to you, Calvin Thompson, Oak Park Mall, Overland Park, Kansas, not Missouri, Kansas. So now you can't rag on me or talk trash to me more, Pony Thompson. You gotta leave me alone about that. He's been on me about that. He's been on me about that, but I got that all squared away. Burgess. Yes, to me, I'm looking forward to the game tonight too, as well. Okay, let's talk about that tonight too, and then we're gonna come back and finish off and talk about our game. Talk about our the Thunder game tonight. And when I look at the game today, you got the Knicks against the Pacers. And it's a replay from last year. Remember the Knicks got beat by the Pacers in 7 in Madison Square Garden, and then the Knicks were beat up because of uh, Thibodeau and the way he just beat them down. And they just got hurt. Everybody was hurt. Ojanobi was hurt. Josh was hurt. Brunson went down, and so they beat him. So there's a little revenge factor there. And MSG will be, for those of you who don't know what MSG is, Madison Square Garden, will be rocking tonight. I suggest if you've never been there, you need to go there. You need to go to one game at Madison Square Garden and check it out. Preferably, Thunder Knicks would be the game to go to. The Knicks 4.5-point favorites, over under 224.5. I think it's going to be a great game, and like I said last night on the show, I think that the Pacers are a better team than the Knicks. They're deeper than the Knicks, but I think it's going to be a great game regardless. But I do believe the Pacers should beat them overall. Now, whether they beat them tonight, if the Knicks lose tonight, they're in trouble. Do I think they can go get a game in Indiana? Possibly. But Halliburton, the most overrated player in the NBA, which is a freaking joke. That's a freaking joke. I think they'll just be on fire. And like I said, 6 p.m. tonight is the announcement of the MVP on TNT. Well, I guess it might not be 6 o'clock because I think the show comes on at 6. So I doubt if they do it at 6. They'll probably do it at 6:30, probably the halfway hour before the game because the game's on at 7. So anyway, that's going to be exciting. I cannot wait. I will be watching that game tonight. I do believe the Knicks should win at home. I would not be surprised if the Pacers did not upset them and get away with the W on the road. I would not be surprised at that at all. And I would probably be thinking that they would get that job done. That's kind of what I was thinking about that, okay? But anyway, Knicks-Pacers is going to be a good game tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing it and see what happens from there. And then, of course, tomorrow night, the Thunder are back playing tomorrow night. And when you look at sorry, I thought I was going to have to sneeze. Tomorrow, the Thunder are 7.5-point favorites again. 213.5 is the over-under for tomorrow night and what's going to happen there. So the way I look at it is it's going to be tough for the Thunder, but I do believe we can get a W again. And the thing about this is that you have to have home. You have to hold home serve. You got to win at home. You got to win at home. Burgess, I just think, guys, that to me, tomorrow's going to be a different game. Okay? And here's yesterday's stats. The Wolves were 15 of 51. We only shot 21 threes. And why is that? Because when they went to zone, we didn't do what we normally do and shoot a bunch of threes, which is why they beat us the last time that they beat us. Remember, we were up 20-something in the fourth quarter, and they came back and beat us. Well, we learned the lesson from the Denver series. Put the right person at the free throw line, and then put pressure on them and attack the basket. Don't settle for threes, but attack. Because usually when they do that, Gobert's not there, and so there's nothing in the middle to really stop you from scoring and attacking the basket. And you still can score for Gobert. He just alters your shot a little bit. It's a little bit harder. The Thunder 11 for 21 for 3. I like that. We shot 50. They shot 34%. 15 of 51. I don't see them going. I see them being more aggressive and attacking the basket this time around. Ant-Man saying, well, we didn't attack the basket. I only took 13 shots. I think his ankle is hurt more than what he's saying. He got hurt in the Lakers series, that ankle. He hurt that same ankle in the Warriors series, and he hurt the same ankle with us. And the difference is that we ain't the Lakers, and we're not the Warriors because they were short Steph. I think they have a tougher time. They don't do the gentleman's sweep against the Warriors, for sure. So I think that's going to be a thing. Plus, we are rebounding about 4 pips, points in the paint. Look at that, 54-20. 19-14 turnovers, 19 for them, 14 for us, and then we outdid their bench. I'll call the Gobert take, the Rudy Gobert take. Thunder played him right off the court. You did, Burgess, and that's exactly what should have happened. That's exactly what should have happened. Is that when you go small ball and he can't rebound because we had 2 guys boxing him out, and then we had a third guy coming over the top, crashing the boards. So that allowed us to get out to that lead. And when you're down 14, 16 points, Rudy Gobert can't play. You have to get your shooters out there. And that has a lot to do with how many threes they shot, because once they got down, they started taking a bunch of shots. Chet Holmgren sighting last night, finally he was relevant. Now, he's played consistently, guys, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't, there was nothing, you didn't look at him and go, wow, Chet's out there. There was none of that. So we had a Chet sighting last night. It was great to see that. 15.7 boards, only 2 blocks, but his presence is like Rudy Gobert. You have the Rudy Gobert in there. Just the 7 foot in there can block shots makes a huge difference. Now I just need him to box out more instead of thinking, oh, I'm 7'2", I can just go up and rebound over people. Now put your body on somebody and then go up and get the rebound. That's what you got to do. J-Dub played another decent game last night, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. Defensively, he was magnificent. Offensively, he was just okay. iHeart kept us in the game early, 100%. 12 points, 5 boards in only 20 minutes. And, the whole thing was when we went with K. Rich, he had 10 minutes of that. That took up iHeart's minutes. And I thought K. Rich was a fantastic move by Coach Daignault by going small lineup. We hadn't seen that in a while since the Memphis series, and that small lineup tends to work for whatever reason. It just puts pressure on the opposing team, especially the fact that K. Rich knocked down a 2, then came back and knocked down a 3 on back-to-back possessions, going 5-0 for the Thunder. I think that set off, and then SGA made some shots, and then the game was pretty much over at that point. SGA, 31 points on 27 shots, and somebody did say that's like Westbrook numbers. I agree. But what he doesn't realize is he started out 2 for 13. And in the fourth quarter, he accounted for 20 of our points. They only had 18 as a team. And SGA accounted for 20 of Thunder points in the third quarter. So SGA outscored the Minnesota Timberwolves by himself in the third quarter. Or attributed to, I won't say by himself because obviously his teammates were there. But he accounted for 20 points. They only had 18. Don't need to talk about the MVP more. 11 for 14 from the free throw line. He's got to be better than that. He's got to be 13 or 14. And remember, he shot those free throws early. He had 8 free throws early or 9 free throws early. And then he only shot I think he had 2 and 1s. I think he shot 4 free throws the second half or something like that. He didn't shoot a whole lot of free throws the second half. Dort, once again, defensively, that's where I want you, big boy. I don't want you trying to attack the basket. I don't want you doing a bunch of stuff. I'm glad you got to see a shot go in and knock down 3 because you've just been horrible for the 3-point shooting in the playoffs. He really has not been very good. But he got to see one drop, and I think that's important for his psyche down the road. K. Rich, 10 minutes, 8 points, didn't miss a shot. Played great, 3 rebounds, no complaints. He was the difference, I think, in the game. He was the difference in this ball game, 100%. Like Caruso's guarding of Jokic in Game 7, and then SGA closing the door just like that. In third quarter, SGA made the move to do what he needed to do to close the door. Our defense sets us up. SGA makes the difference. And also, what also it does is every single game, Oklahoma City's going to go on some sort of run. 15-2, 17-3, 20-4. We go on a run every time, and it's based off of our defense. At some point, we're going to go on a run, and you know it's coming. And you know it's coming, and there's nothing you can do. And once we go on that run, especially if the game is close, then we break it open. If we're behind, then that run catches us up, and then we go on us. It puts us ahead, and it gives us the confidence to close out like it did against Denver in Game 5. Caruso, once again, magnificent. Nothing to say. 9 points, 3 rebounds, great defense. He's just fantastic. Love me some Caruso. Isaiah Joe, I thought he played more minutes than what he should have. Now he did play at the end a little bit. So, but I mean, to me, if he comes in, if he doesn't knock down a 3 right away, you got to pull him out. You got to pull him out. And I know you try to do the whole SGA Isaiah Joe. I think it was SGA Joe. Who was it? I got it here on my list. Who did you have? It was SGA, Isaiah Joe, Kaysen, Caruso, and Chet. And then you had, which I wasn't a really fan of that lineup. And then in the second quarter, it was nothing. And in the third quarter, you brought Joe in for Chet. So you had SGA, J-Dub, Isaiah Joe, Dort, and iHeart. And that group didn't do too bad. And then you brought Kaysen in for Dort. That's when it really took over at that point. It really took over at that point, and the game was over. So, but when you had SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, K-Rich, and Chet, that group right there went on a 17-2 run. Ball game. 17-2 run is what we did. But we do really well. And it was a different group. It was that group. Let me see, who all was it? Let me get this correct. I just don't want to throw something out there. It was the SGA, J-Dub, Kaysen, Dort, Kaysen, iHeart, and SGA. And then you brought, so that was SGA, J-Dub, Kaysen, iHeart, and Chet. And then when you finished it off with SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, K-Rich, when you brought him in for iHeart, that made all the difference because that group right there was just deadly. It was just deadly. 17-2 run. Closed the door on them in the third quarter. Aaron Wiggins, I just don't want him. Dude, just catch the ball and shoot. Quit trying to do a bunch of stuff. Just catch the ball and shoot. I don't want you trying to go to the basket and be a scorer. Like I said, the worst thing in the world for him was him to have that big game and think he's a scorer. No. You are a scorer on somebody else's team, but on ours, we need you to catch and shoot threes and do what you need to do for us. J-Dub did not play last night, which I don't think he should have, or J. Will. There was no reason for him to play. He played magnificent in the Denver series. He was magnificent in the Denver series. But once again, like K-Rich didn't play in this series, it's just a matchup thing. Let me see. Rogelio says, they mad we took out their favorite person in the world, Flopik Jokic. I'm glad I don't have to hear how wonderful he is and how now it's Ant-Man. They don't want to give Shea his props. I agree with Jelio. It's to me, SGA is the MVP. And and I don't, this is my thing. Nobody's going to be mad if SGA gets it. But people will be pissed if Jokic gets it. That's going to be his 4th MVP in 5 years. And as I said before on this show, his first MVP he shouldn't have got. That should have been Giannis' third MVP in a row. His second MVP he got, that one should have went to Embiid because that's the first time he won it being the 4th or 5th seed. How the hell are you the MVP and your team is 4th or 5th? Come on, man. No. The third one that he lost for his 3rd year in a row, that one should have went to Embiid. That one should have went to Embiid. I mean to Jokic instead of Embiid. But because they had gave it to Jokic the year before, they couldn't give it to Embiid. And then last year, I believe, and I've said this a tons of time on this show, if SJ had played against Boston, Indiana, and the 76ers, because remember he hit the game winner against the Knicks and MSG in Madison Square Garden to beat the Knicks. Had he played against them and the media got to see him play, I believe he possibly could have beat Jokic last year because we were the number 1 seed and we were rolling, but we were never on TV. And nobody saw us play. And then this year you see an even better SGA than you saw last year. So I think that's why he wins it. Stephen A. tells selling out on Ant-Man. He wants Knicks and Wolves. Of course he does. He's been saying we've been the best team all year, but he wants Ant-Man to win. He does. He wants. They want. The whole thing is the media would love to have Ant-Man because we don't have any outgoing personality. We don't really have personality. SJ is he's more like Kevin Durant personality wise, but he has the leadership skills of Russell without being a jerk. So that's not insecure. Russell's insecure. You can tell because look who all got rid of. Russell had to get rid of so he could be the man. Okay, so he could be the man, and that's what I hate about Preston and all them. Y'all let all that stuff go on. I don't want it. He is not the best player we've ever had. That's KD, without question. It's not even close. And you Oklahoma City fans or football fans, stick to football. But y'all want to give it to Russell. He saved us. No, he didn't. What did he save? He didn't save us any. He didn't give us anything. What did he give us? Some L's. Cost us a championship. And I don't even think he did that because nobody's going to win with him. People were enamored with Russell until he played for the organization. And then boom, trade, boom, trade, boom, trade, boom, release, boom. He's fortunately Denver doesn't have the rights to him. He does because if Denver had the rights, he would be gone. So you probably need to get up and realize what Russell was and what Russell is. Quit getting all up in his. No, you people are y'all. No, he don't deserve no statue. He ain't the man. That would be Kevin Durant. Even though you don't like him, your best player in the history of the Thunder basketball is KD. Period, without question. Now Nathan Taylor brought up from YNB brought up a great point. Rogelio, I don't know if you heard about this, and Burgess, I don't know if y'all heard this, but he brought up a good point. KD is the best player in the history of Thunder basketball or Seattle Supersonics, whatever. He's the best player. But if SGA brings a chip, then SGA has been the most valuable, not the most valuable, but yes, been the most valuable player to Oklahoma City because he brought us a championship. So in that instance, yes. Now, Russell has the most accolades or whatever in Oklahoma City history, 100%, because he played it forever. And the Sam Preston name allowed him to be the man, which is what they're trying to avoid with SGA. Well, he ain't SGA. SGA's not him. SGA is Kevin Durant as far as I want to hoop and has the same skill set, same mentality, but then he also is a leader. Like when he went over there and grabbed J-Will after the game, what the hell is you doing? Why you getting in your feelings, bro? We're trying to win this game. We ain't trying to get in no fight and change the dynamics. We're trying to win, bro. What the hell is you doing? And he ain't played since. So that has a lot to do with it. If this team wins a title, will SJ be considered the best Thunder over KD? No. Like I was saying, what Nathan said is the best pure talented player in history is KD. He's gonna when he finishes, he'll be in my top 10 of all time. Okay? He's been in my top 10 of all time. SGA doing something that only Michael Jordan has done, like the 50, what was it, 30 points, 50% shooting, steals and rebounds or whatever, or blocks or whatever. Only him, Dwayne Wade, and Michael Jordan have done. Now, Michael did it 3 times. Dwayne Wade and SJ's only done it once. Now, the only player to win average 30 and shoot 50% 3 consecutive years in a row is Michael and SGA. So in that instance, you can say that, yes, a little bit, but at the same time, KD is the best player we've had, period. He just is. Now, Russell has all the stats, but he ain't the best player. Best player is KD, period. Period. Now, if SJ wins the chip, they all 3 have MVPs. The difference is Kevin's was earned, SGA's was earned, Russell's was given. Nobody argues Russell Westbrook was the best player that year. You are not going to hear one person say that. What they all say is he did something that only Oscar Robertson done, which Sam Presti helped facilitate, so he could bring relevance to the Oklahoma City. He's masterful at marketing to the Oklahoma fans. Nationally, he ain't getting the respect by national media because they ain't going by his nonsense because they're too smart. They understand basketball. So it's the stuff Sam Presti gets away with in Oklahoma, he don't get away with that. No, nobody's falling for that nonsense. But Oklahoma City fans or Oklahoma fans are football fans. And I've said this many times. If the Thunder were an NFL team, he couldn't get away with what he gets away with because Oklahoma fans are way too knowledgeable about football. He couldn't get away with what he's done. But basketball, they're not as knowledgeable. Now becoming more and more knowledgeable, 100%. Or getting smarter, yes. Getting more understanding of the game, yes. But he can still get away with stuff that he can't get away with nationally, but that's why Stephen A. Smith has been calling him out about that. And yes, he wants Knicks and Wolves with Jelly. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. But he also called Sam Presti out, and I didn't believe him by him saying this, but saying that Sam Presti is more interested in making the Thunder relevant than he is winning a chip. And to me, that's on his telling him the coach what to do. And what have we done? Game 1 and Game 5, SGA played more minutes. He's got to play 5 to 6 minutes more than J-Dub. And if he will do that, if he will take J-Dub out when he puts SGA in the second and fourth quarter for 3 to 4 minutes, and if he takes him out with the 4 to 5 minute of the first quarter, the 4 to 5 minute of the third quarter, take J-Dub out, but have SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and either Ihart or Chet. And now if you want to go with K-Rich, but Ihart or Chet, I can promise you the Thunder will win. They will win if he will do that. If he doesn't do that, the Thunder are going to struggle. But as long as J-Dub plays 5 to 6 minutes less than SGA does, and if he will put him with the group he has with J-Dub, and the problem with putting J-Dub with Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and Ihart or Chet, you have no ball handlers, which is what you saw at the beginning of the second and fourth quarter last night. You ain't got no ball handler. None of them can handle the ball. And against good defensive pressure, J-Dub is going to get his pocket, but he can't handle the ball. That's not his strength. And you can't turn him into something he's not. He's just not. That's why I loved A.J. Mitchell so much, because A.J. Mitchell could come in there and do that. So that's my take. So I'm excited about last night. I'm excited about tomorrow. And by the way, Rogelio and Burgess, we are 3-0 when I wear my Thunderalls. 3-0 wearing Thunderalls, which I will have on tomorrow night, of course, because I got to have that done. So that being said, hey, everybody have a fantastic day. Enjoy it. If you go out and play some golf today, go play some golf for me today. I can't. I'm getting ready to go train kids. And, in fact, I may go hit some golf balls. I may try to go in and get 9 holes in, because I think I can get 9 holes in when I get done at 4:30 or 5:30 today. I think I can get 9 holes in. I might try to go get me 9 holes in this evening, because it's a beautiful day out there. And so I may go out there and try to get that done. So that being said, everybody have a fantastic day. Enjoy your afternoon.